Welcome, everybody, to your personalized deep dive. I'm so excited to jump into today's topic.
Same here. It's a really profound one today.
It really is. So, for this deep dive, we have a single, incredibly dense source text. It's basically this short but just powerfully concentrated meditation on the true nature of self-love.
Yeah, and it's not your typical, feel-good self-help stuff.
No, not at all. The mission of this deep dive is to really unpack this source because it completely redefines what self-love actually is.
Right. It challenges us to move completely away from external validation.
Exactly. It focuses entirely on this radical internal shift in how we relate to ourselves. And I want to set the tone right up front for you listening. This isn't just about like taking a bubble bath and feeling nice for 20 minutes.
Definitely not.
We are talking about fundamentally restructuring how you view your own mind, your will, and your soul.
It's a total paradigm shift, really.
Yeah, it is. Because, think about it, we treat smiles as social currency. Like most of us don't even realize we're doing it. But we spend our smiles to diffuse tension in a room, you know?
Oh, constantly. To make someone else comfortable?
Right, or just a signal, like, hey, I'm not a threat. But this text demands that you do something totally counterintuitive.
It asks you to stop spending that currency on other people.
Yes, and instead to aim that physical and emotional energy of a smile entirely inward, at your own soul.
Which is a complete inversion of how we're socialized, right?
Mm,
We're trained to outsource our emotional regulation.
we really are.
We just sit around waiting for external cues to tell us we're safe or valued,
Yeah.
and this source text just strips all of that away.
Okay, let's unpack this because the text gets very specific. The instruction is that true self-love comes from the expression within.
Right, the directive to literally redirect your smiles.
Yeah, it says, don't smile on the outside. Feel your will, mind, and soul smiling with deep compassion and love towards oneself within.
It's so direct.
It is. And it repeats it to make sure you get it. Give yourself the biggest smile on the inside, not out. But I have to ask, is this literal?
What do you mean?
Like, am I supposed to walk around completely stone-faced?
Right.
Because smiling on the outside while you're hurting on the inside, it's sort of like painting the exterior of a house while the foundation crumbles,
Oh, it's a
right?
great analogy, yeah.
But at the same time, cutting off external warmth entirely seems isolating. So
Yep.
how literal is this instruction?
Well, what's fascinating here is the radical internalization the source is demanding. It's forcing you to pause and consciously direct a tool we usually use for others, the smile entirely toward your own will.
Okay.
It's not necessarily saying you should become antisocial or glare at people,
Right. Oh, yeah.
but it's highlighting a severe imbalance. We expend massive amounts of cognitive load projecting warmth outward just to manage how others perceive us.
Oh, wow. Yeah, usually while ignoring our own internal state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we look at the neuroscience, even just physically moving your facial muscles into a smile triggers the vagus nerve.
Which does what exactly?
It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It basically sends a signal to your brain that says, hey, we are safe.
Oh, I see.
The text is arguing that through interoception, which is your brain's ability to perceive your internal state, you can consciously direct the cognitive equivalent of that smile toward your own nervous system.
Wait, really? So you don't even need to move your face?
Right. You are proving to your own nervous system that you can regulate yourself. It creates this self-sustaining loop of, the text calls it effervescent joy.
Effervescent. I love that word. It implies like a bubbling up that just keeps going.
Yeah, a closed feedback loop. You aren't relying on a stranger's smile to fill a bucket that has a hole in it. You become the generator.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But once we understand how to direct this inner smile inward, it naturally leads to the question, what exactly is this self we are smiling at?
Oh, the text definitely has an answer for that.
It does. It provides this whole lexicon of the self. Right in rapid succession, it lists self-trust, self-belief, self-knowing.
Self-honoring.
Yes, and self-knowledge, self-respect, self-birth, and self-caretaking.
It's quite a list.
It is a lot. So what does this all mean? When I first read this, it felt a little redundant, like self-knowledge and self-knowing. But the one that really stopped me was self-faith.
Yeah, that's a powerful one.
I mean, I can get behind respecting myself, but continually birthing myself? Why not just say self-improvement?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the author isn't just giving us a bunch of synonyms for self-esteem.
Yeah.
They're building a complete ecosystem of internal reliance, like a psychological framework.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, so words like improvement suggest there's something broken that needs to be fixed. You're taking a flawed baseline and optimizing it.
Right, like upgrading a car.
Exactly. But self-birth implies something much more dynamic. It means self-love isn't a static trait. It's an active, ongoing process of renewal.
So letting old versions of yourself die off,
Yes. Allowing outdated identities to fade so new ones can emerge, driven by the deep intuition of the soul. The self is both the creator and the caretaker here.
it's almost like a self-sustaining terrarium.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
Like you don't need to keep pouring water in from the outside. The plants generate the oxygen, the condensation waters the soil. It's this whole internal ecosystem,
And once you realize you possess this complete internal ecosystem, it logically leads to the next huge realization in the text.
which is that we don't need to search for salvation outside of ourselves anymore.
Exactly.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the text makes some very bold claims about this.
It doesn't hold back.
No, it says, self-love is the gift you have always had. You created this bliss you hope to experience. Stop hoping and start caring.
Stop hoping and start caring. That is such a huge shift.
It really is. It sets up this sharp contrast between hoping and caring.
Right.
And the way I thought about it, it's like hoping is sitting at a bus stop, waiting for someone else to drive you somewhere. But caring is realizing, wait a minute, I've had the keys to my own car in my pocket this whole time.
I love that. Because hoping actually implies a lack, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like you're waiting for external circumstances to just magically align for you.
Exactly. It's passive. You're giving away your agency. But caring implies present action. It implies responsibility.
Like you're actually doing something about it.
Yes. The phrase "stop hoping and start caring" demands a profound psychological shift. The text is telling you that you have already created the bliss you want to experience.
Which is wild to think about. Like, I made the bliss.
You did. Your brain generated that feeling. The external event, like a nice compliment or a beautiful day, was just the trigger. The machinery for bliss is native to you.
So we just need to claim the power we are calling for. The text says, you are the one you've been seeking all this time.
It's absolute accountability.
But to fully claim that power and become the one we seek, we have to deal with the barriers we put up against ourselves.
Right, the ways we reject or shame parts of our own identity.
Which brings us to the final directives of the text. It says, no more self-neglect, no more dishonoring the self, no more shaming and hating self-love.
Setting the stage for radical acceptance.
Yeah, and then it drops this conclusion that really caught me off guard. It says, ego is a form of the soul. Intuition is a form of the soul. Love is a form of the soul.
The inclusion of the ego there is crucial.
It is highly unusual. I mean, in almost every other context, the ego is framed as the villain, right?
Oh, yeah. Usually it's something to be defeated or transcended.
Exactly. So why does this source elevate the ego to sit right alongside intuition and love?
This raises an important question about what radical non-rejection actually means. The text is advocating for absolute acceptance of the self.
The whole self.
The whole self. By declaring that ego is a form of the soul, it's demanding an end to this fracturing we do.
Fracturing, like splitting ourselves into good and bad parts.
Exactly. We say, my intuition is good, but my ego is bad. But developmentally, why does the ego form? It forms as a bodyguard in early childhood.
Oh, to keep us safe.
Right. To navigate social hierarchies and protect us from emotional pain. It's a protector.
A protector that maybe overreacts sometimes.
Definitely. It can be a very clumsy bodyguard. But shaming it is still a form of self-neglect. Hating the ego means you are essentially hating a part of yourself that is just trying to help you survive.
Wow. So going to war with your ego is like poisoning half of your own terrarium.
Yes. True self-love means recognizing that every facet of the self, even the stubborn, defensive ego, originates from the soul.
That is just...
Yeah,
it completely reframes
it
everything.
really does.
Let's recap this journey we've been on because it is a lot to take in. We started by exploring how true self-love is an internal smile.
Right. Consciously directing that energy inward to your mind and soul.
And that regulates this vast internal ecosystem. The text showed us that self-love is self-nurturing and self-birth, this active, ongoing renewal.
And then the necessary shift from passive hoping to active caring.
Right. Stopping the wait at the bus stop and using our own keys. Realizing the capacity for bliss is native to our neurochemistry.
And finally, that radical acceptance of all parts of oneself, ending the internal war, even with the ego.
Because the ego is just a form of the soul. So for you listening, this matters because it's not just abstract poetry.
No, it's a very practical blueprint.
It's a blueprint for taking back your power. It challenges you to stop seeking external validation and to start recognizing that you are the exact person you've been waiting for.
You hold the machinery within yourself.
You really do. So I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over today. Sometime tomorrow, you are likely going to feel a flash of ego.
Oh, it happens to all of
Yeah,
us.
someone cuts you off in traffic, or maybe someone questions a decision you made, and you feel that hot, stubborn flash of defensiveness.
Yep.
Historically, you might have felt ashamed of that or trying to forcefully push it down.
Mm.
But based on this text, if the ego is truly just another form of the soul, how might that change the way you interact with that feeling tomorrow?
That's a great question.
What if that pride or defensiveness isn't a toxic flaw to be fixed? What if it's just a misunderstood expression of your soul acting like an overzealous bodyguard, just asking for an inward smile?
Just asking for a little compassion.
Exactly. Think about how that might change your entire internal ecosystem. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We will catch you next time.